help, and especially the help of the little people that I'm seeing in the audience today. The first main character in the first story is a peacock. Now, if you've ever seen a peacock before, can you put a hand in the air? Who's seen a peacock before? Wonderful. What a peacock is, it's a pretty little bird, but when it puts its feathers out, it looks like it has 1,000 eyes. So twice during the story, I'm going to say the words 1,000 eyes. And at that point, I need everyone to go like this. Or like this. Because what we're doing is we're being the eyes of the peacock on the feathers, because they look like eyes. So can we all do that? 1,000 eyes. One last time. 1,000 eyes. You guys look exactly like a peacock. We are going to begin our first story. The name of our first story is The Prideful Peacock. In a lush green forest, long ago, lived a great number of creatures. There were ones that moved around on the ground, others that leaped from branch to branch in the trees, and still others that would fly high above the trees and swoop down among the leaves. Now, the most talkative of all the creatures were 3 birds: an eagle, a canary, and a flamingo. The birds would gather high above in a tree next to a pond on the edge of the forest every day. But there was one bird that kept to itself, a magnificent peacock. It held its royal blue crown of feathers high as it visited the pond alone. Peacock's long back feathers fanned out to make the creature appear 10 times its size. It shimmered like sapphires and emeralds, and it looked like it had 1,000 eyes that pierced the forest. Now the peacock would strut around the pond, looking at its reflection, trying to get the other birds to notice its splendid feathers. Far too distracted to be concerned with the peacock's prideful plumage, Flamingo squawked down to the peacock, "Be careful of the snake. If I were on the ground, it would surely hurt me." The snake allows no one around the pond. The 3 birds far above started to fret and complain. Peacock became very annoyed that no one was paying attention to its exquisite feathers. So it devised a plan to rid the pond of the snake. Peacock exclaimed, "I will defeat the snake with my beauty, and the pond will be safe, and I will be your king." They agreed to Peacock's plan, and as the birds walked safely from the tree, the peacock approached the pond and began to drink. But just then, the treacherous snake slithered out from behind a log. They got to the edge of the pond, and they looked each other square in the eye, and they started to circle around each other. Then the peacock fanned out its hind feathers to reveal 1,000 eyes. It's as if they were magical, and the snake became overwhelmed by this oddity and fell into a trance, and it slithered off, never to be seen again. The birds expelled a joyful crackle. They flew down from their perches and drank greedily from the pond. And all praised Peacock's beauty and power and exclaimed that Peacock was king. After the weeks had passed, Peacock spent all its time strutting around the pond and gazing adoringly at its reflection in the water. He thought to himself, "Now why do I have to do anything for myself anymore? After all, I am king." "Eagle," Peacock commanded, You must come down from your tree and preen my feathers until they shine like dew-wet leaves. He grumbled but agreed. Then Peacock announced, the banks of the pond are far too muddy for my walks. Canary, you must fetch my drinking water, and Flamingo, you must fan me with your wings so that I may be cool and comfortable. This would happen day in and day out. But then one day, the Peacock went for a walk into the forest. And the three other birds gathered back up in the ancient tree, and Flamingo said, Peacock only allows us to drink when it's convenient for him. And Peacock makes us bring him all his food, all the time. Yeah, said Eagle, even the snake was better than Peacock. We have to get rid of this Peacock. The Flamingo then explained, I know how to solve this problem. Canary, you will challenge Peacock's beauty with something even more beautiful. When Peacock then returned to the pond, the Flamingo spoke to Peacock. You have the most beautiful feathers in the world that I have ever seen, but I think that Canary has an equal beauty to yours. Will you give up your kingdom if the Canary can prove its beauty? Now the Peacock, he scoffed, but he agreed. At that point, the Canary flew down from its high peak and sang the most beautiful song that anyone had ever heard. Peacock was stunned and was taken back by the beauty of the song, but he still strutted up to the pond and he let out a sound. Cringed and covered their ears, and the Peacock was embarrassed. Peacock knew that it had been defeated, and slowly he folded his magnificent feathers until all the shimmering blue and green disappeared. Flamingo graciously praised the Peacock. You are indeed uniquely beautiful, but each of us is special in our own way. And that is how the Peacock came to drag its feathers behind it, no longer blinded by pride.